Hey, this is Barry Mathis, and we're with Real Talk on Real Estate. We are Real Talk on Real Estate, and we're here today at the Smoke and Barrel Winery. And so we're here every week. We come to you and we talk to you about small businesses in the area, usually with a real estate agent hanging out. And today we have two small business owners that are actually doing it as a husband and wife, which is pretty awesome. Rachel, introduce them.
All right, so today we are here with Julie and Mitch Corbett, who are the owners of Smoke and Barrel here in Lincoln, California. I think that the majority of our audience is familiar with this winery, and if they're not, you absolutely need to come check it out. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to see these beautiful views and this wonderful wine. Cheers.
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 You forgot the eye contact.
Yeah, no, I was making eye contact with you. And it got really uncomfortable real quick.
It was personal for a minute.
So actually, before you go on, can you tell us about the eye contact? What's your feeling as a winery owner about the eye contact?
Well, when you make a toast to someone, you have to make eye contact. So you know that the toast is meaningful. And like Rachel said, it's very endearing.
It is. And it was that endearing part that unnerved me when I looked at it and saw the gruff face and the cowboy hat. I was like, I should have thought about this before I looked that way. Go ahead with the introductions. I kind of cut you off.
We're in the absolutely beautiful area of here in Lincoln, California. And if you haven't had an opportunity, we invite you to come check it out.
One of the things people might not realize, we're doing a series on the Placer County Wine Trail. And I don't know how many, but it's probably at least half of the wineries that are on the Placer County Wine Trail have the owner's home on the property.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's very endearing. We're here at your house. It's beautiful. A lot of people might not see this location when they come to your winery, but we're really glad that you invited us up. This is just a gorgeous grounds, and your home is gorgeous. So I feel like you really invited us into your home, and you literally did. And so we thank you very much for that.
Absolutely.
Of course.
So I want to kind of dive deep into the winemaking business. What influenced you to open up a winery here in Lincoln, California?
Probably lots of good wine. Of course, we fell in love with the romantic side of wine. Yeah, just like most people do. We love being able to go places and try new wines and exotic destinations and things like that, and always just enjoyed that side of it and thought it might be a fun hobby as well. And as much wine as we drank, I thought I might save a little money. Well, that's clearly
You were
wrong.
Clearly wrong about that.
So I'm actually going into my 12th crush this year, and this is basically what a hobby out of control looks like. We kind of had the thought that it might be a fun retirement idea. We're both the type of people that once we actually get to pull the pin from a regular day job, we're not the ones just to sit around and watch TV and do that. I've got to stay moving, got to have something to do. So thought it might be a fun retirement idea. What better way to sit around, drink wine, meet new people? And
It's kind of a basis for why we do the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a better way to do a show than to sit around and have drinks with friends. Right?
Absolutely. So why Placer County and why specifically Lincoln, California?
we did do a lot of driving around when we had the idea. I grew up on property. My childhood, I regretted it because I was labor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once we
Yes.
Yes.
once we kind of moved into town, did our raising of our kids, and did that thing inside town, it was more important for me to get back out to property. Even though we knew how much work it would be, it's nice when you can barely see your neighbor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
And this view, right? Like you wake up in the morning, you get to have your coffee out here and you see this amazing view, and it must feel so peaceful.
Yes, it's rewarding knowing that we put a lot of hard work in, our younger years to grinding through everything and to get where we are. But it's rewarding in its own way. But we're not quite at the retirement phase yet, but we're getting close. And I think when we kind of started this venture, we kind of knew that it was going to take a little bit of time to build up to where it would, kind of help run itself and wasn't hemorrhaging money constantly.
So Julie, Mitch has a background and experience in living on land. Is that your same experience as well, or is this a new venture for you?
Yeah, this is definitely new for me. When we started looking out here, we wanted to stay local here in Placer County. We have family that live in this area, so it was important for us to kind of stick around. So when we started looking at property, we talked a lot about the different areas. And when we were driving in this area, area, we really liked it. And we realized that there was a wine trail here. And so it kind of just evolved from there. When we bought the property, and, he had told me this is going to be a lot of work. And I've always been very active and physically strong and healthy, which very fortunate for that. But when we bought the property at that time, our long-term goals were to think about opening a winery, and we are still working now. And so we said, okay, well, it's going to take a lot for us to get there. So we happened to find this piece of property and we moved forward with it. And from that point, it's just kind of grown and developed.
As a neighbor, right, living out here in the country, and I understand, strong like bull, especially when you own acreage. But I've had the opportunity to actually watch your land and your business expand. And so I remember seeing just the beginning phases of building, and to see where it is today, and the work and the effort that you guys put into it, and then seeing the fruit of your labor is quite a sight to see. Yeah. And so it's very impressive.
We hear that a lot from the people that come out and wine taste, a lot like yourself, that have been neighbors or, somewhat, you're pretty close, but that just live in this area or driving from Lincoln to Auburn, that they say, we've driven by here so many times, and every time we drive by, okay, what's happening at Wise and Garden Bar? What new thing are they doing this weekend? And they've seen us out here working, and people have stopped and said hello. So that, to Mitch and I, is very rewarding, because people have really appreciated the fact that the two of us have put our blood, sweat, and tears into it. And it's something that we've developed ourselves. And so it's nice to hear that.
Yeah.
You mentioned a couple of things in there that made me want to follow up on that. One, for our listeners who might not be familiar with Placer County as much, you said Wise and Garden Bar, and those are the names of the intersection that you're on the corner of. And so just let people know, it's actually 3700 Wise Road. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep.
3700 Wise Road. So if you're looking it up, you want to come out. They've got a lot of great events that happen out here. So get out here. If you're on that, you're going to see a link to the property down below. But I wanted to ask you mentioned early on that you found out they had a Placer County wine trail. Mm-hmm. What kind of interaction or support have you gotten from the other wineries that are on the wine trail? Are they like, oh, get out of here, you city slickers, because you don't belong, and we don't need another one on our list of 19? Sure. Is that their hobnobby attitude, or?
Absolutely not.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm definitely no city slicker. I've been a country boy for a long time.
I knew I was going to catch grief over that.
But no, actually, the wine community's been fantastic. And
amazing.
It's a firm belief that, a lot of us winemakers share, that high tide rises all boats.
Okay.
So we all support each other and do what we can to, grow our area. We're actually trying to create a region, a destination, a place to come for people. We want, people from Napa and Sonoma to say, hey, this was Napa and Sonoma 30 years ago. Mm. When we're just an up-and-coming, young, developing wine trail with reasonable priced wines and, a great down-to-earth atmosphere. And that's kind of how we've kept our whole concept of what we want. When we are some of our favorite places tasting, we wanted to be treated when we were at a winery. The personal touches, the being able to meet the winemaker, the owner, or, just being taken care of with your service. That's what we try to do here as well. And our community with the other winemakers, any questions or issues or problems that we have, everyone is more than willing to share. It's not like we're keeping national secrets here. Some people have their own way of doing things. Each winemaker does. That's what makes us unique.
Right.
We may pull our grapes from the same region, but everyone's got a little bit of touch that gives them their own little unique flair and their own style of winemaking.
So speaking of unique flares, what are we drinking today?
We have our 2020 Rosé. This one has been dubbed the Porch Pounder.
Oh.
It is a Grenache Zinfandel Rosé.
I've been practicing my swirl.
Yeah. Light, easy drinking, nice big nose, strawberry on the nose. Can be served at almost any temperature, but goes down quick and easy. We had
I love that. That's really good.
Yeah.
We had a group of school teachers come, four ladies. And they went through the tastings and liked the rosé, bought a bottle, drank it, bought another bottle, drank it, took 4 bottles home. rosé.
That sounds like a familiar story to me too.
It wasn't until the next day one of them came back, and
She said, "Let's do it again."
I thought,
Yeah,
I thought
right?
she had forgotten something. I go, did we forget something? And she says, no, we actually went home and we sat on the front porch and we drank all
the rest
4 of those bottles.
I love it, and that is your
And
porch
she's
pounder.
yeah, that's
Yes.
what she goes, I need 4 more bottles of that porch pounder. And I was like, ooh,
Porch
you
pounder.
mind if I steal that day?
So we put it on the label.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is absolutely endearing. Very sweet.
Porch pounder. I like it.
Yeah.
I know this is going to sound kind of silly, and it may not be very couth to all the highbrow wine drinkers out there, but I like your color label. You know, a lot of times you get a label and they almost all look the same. In these old, you'll have a white label with Monte.
Sure.
So I just like that. It's nice to see the color touch.
So, Smoke and Barrel, can you share with us what prompted that name? That's so creative and really appealing to me.
Especially when your Chardonnay doesn't use oak.
Yeah.
Right.
I was really surprised to find their Chardonnay
Yeah.
is in a stainless instead of.
So, what inspired Smoke and Barrel?
It was actually a drive out here before we had even built the house, coming out here to kind of just measure things out for our vineyards and things like that. Just daydreaming and planning. And coming through town here, we drive behind Dillman's gun range. And I was just kind of daydreaming, driving out here. And I've shot there before and thinking to myself, if I shot over the mounds, could it actually reach my house? No, it can't. But just the thought of that, I had an image of a smoking gun barrel at the same time with a toasted, how we toast our barrels for flavor on our oak barrels. The two kind of just morphed together and thought it was a kind of a cool name. And of course, I had to run it by the boss and make sure she was okay with it. And
Just kind of stuck.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love the
think
play on
yeah.
words too.
Yeah.
It's smoking in both sense of it.
yes.
Well, and if you look at the label, it has 2
Double
barrels. It's kind of like a double entendre. So it's like two wine barrels, but it also like the barrel of a shotgun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Pay a little homage to our area.
And coyotes.
I got to
mean,
do
Right.
I've got to do things a little differently. The family name winery just been done. Figured I might try to stir the pot up a little bit.
Well,
Love it.
and I think that's appealing to the community. Speaking of, what are some community events that you do here as far as like just different events?
So probably one of our most recent ones was we did an event for Maui Strong.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
so we
I
did a
love
fundraiser. We kind of opted to have the Hawaiian sort of luau theme, and we had a food truck out here that day, and we had a portion of our proceeds go to Maui Strong. So it really brought people from all over here. Never been to the winery.
Love that.
We had a gal that donated her time. She was Moana from the movie. So it's a Disney, it's a company that has Disney characters that they go out and do for parties and that sort of thing. So Moana donated her time to come out here and take pictures with people. And
That's so sweet and so special.
yeah. So we did really well with that. And that was, Mitch and I have been there before. It's nothing that's, that is super near and dear to our heart. Not to say that we feel deeply for those people, you know, but
More so the way that they've been
yes.
treated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
his parents have traveled there a lot too. So we
And
just,
that's that community.
Yeah.
I mean, really, like, you have this opportunity, and so you made that decision to bring the community together so that we can outreach and outpour to support others.
absolutely.
And I think that that's really the core of what small business is about. We talk about, like, bigger businesses, and what you lose with those bigger corporations is that family and community value of coming together, and that grassroots movement of saying, like, we're with you, we're behind you, and we support you.
Yeah, we had a couple of club members that actually had condos over there that were saved, but they came to, donate, buy wine and donate their time and just to come out and support.
So I want to come back to the club in just a little bit, but I wanted to ask you, kind of dive into the nitty gritty business part of owning a winery. How many acres do you have here?
We have 10 acres.
10 acres. What do you think if somebody's looking at a winery, not that everybody's going to go out and start one, there's a real high entry level, but what's the minimum? What do you need in order to really start to say, okay, we've got enough to do a winery?
Well, you've got to be a little on the crazy side to start. I was warned by multiple people, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, but a lot of us winemakers, that's all we are. It's a passion. It's a hobby out of control, whatever it may be. It takes a lot of work. And, for dealing with Placer County is a bit of an issue to do a true winery up and coming. The ordinances are a little tough to deal with, but we're hopefully going to be working on that.
Do you drink a lot of wine to help you cope with
I drink a lot of wine. I drink a lot of beer. I say there's a lot of good beer that gets drinking making great wine.
That's true.
So it's one of those things to where, it's the passion is going to take you there. You got to have the drive. You got to have that savage inside of you to push beyond what normal people do as far as a business owner goes, because of the fact there is so much involved. I mean, we talk about the romantic side of wine. That's only one part of it.
Yeah.
The true part of it is you're a dirty farmer.
Yeah.
I spend just as much time out in the fields as I do in the tasting room or in the barrel rooms, doing whatever. But
And as a club member.
Hold on a second. I never heard how many acres.
10.
10 acres.
Yes.
No, I know how many you have.
Oh.
But what does someone need in order to...
2 acres is the minimum that you have to have planted in Placer County.
Okay.
And
you had to have 2 acres of grapes planted.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So you need 3 at least, or 2 and a quarter or 2.5. At
At least just somewhere squeeze your house on
Got
there.
to get your house.
Yeah.
But then you got to have somewhere to process the wine too. See that you have a really big garage, or you're gonna need a big building like that. I know there's guys up here that are doing it in smaller situations, and I don't know how they do it. I got to take my hat off to them, but they're doing it.
So you talked about blood, sweat, and tears. I would imagine there's one more, and beer, that went into making your winery. But I would imagine it would take a butt ton of money as well in order to make it happen. Now, you guys mentioned that you worked hard earlier in life so that you could have your dream, and that nobody's wanting to dive into that. But I mean, somebody's really got to be prepared to pour some. It's not just the land. It's not just being out in the field. You really got to be ready to commit financially. And like you said, most people would probably say, this is not a good business plan. So what was it that kept you guys through that? Was it just his passion? Were you both together on, hey, let's just open up a pit here and dump some money into it?
Well, one thing that I don't think you guys know is that Mitch has owned a pool business. So he's a pool contractor. So in our younger years, actually not that long ago, he was still building pools. So during our regular jobs and then him having the pool business, we used that income to
Rob Peter to pay Paul.
To fund a lot of the things that we've done here. So we made some good real estate business decisions that helped us have some capital to build the home and start the winery. So that's
awesome.
part of it.
But I think it's so important that people know, how do you do it, right? And so you have a business that's making some money, and then you have to put that money somewhere, and then you invest back into yourself. And I think we've heard different stories. We've heard some wineries were inherited and things like that. But I mean, you guys are making it from the ground up. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off earlier.
Oh, that's okay. And really just paving the path and putting your mark here in Placer County. And I think that your business does add value into building up our community. And I feel like we are just getting stronger and stronger here in Placer as a community. But what I was going to touch base on was, even though you're doing all of the field work, I see you and Julie in the tasting room often and connecting with the community, which is, it's inspiring. And I appreciate that business owner feel of knowing that this person who's creating this environment is actually here, to connect with the community as well.
Yeah, it's really important to us because, like Mitch mentioned earlier, I think that's what people like. They like to be able to sit there and have a conversation with the business owner. They like to talk to the winemaker, see what's new, what's upcoming, and we've gotten good feedback. So we're just going to keep doing that because it's working.
In real estate, they have a phrase, and it might be in other businesses as well. It's called the last mile, right? And the last mile is really what keeps Amazon from taking over the world. It's what keeps Zillow from taking over real estate. It's the fact that you have to have an agent you want an agent that will hold your hand through what's often a complex process. And I think what you're talking about is the same thing. I mean, we can let's face it, tomorrow, if I wanted a bottle of wine bad enough from Italy, I could probably have it here, right? But that I wouldn't get that experience with it. I wouldn't get that speaking with the owner.
No,
and I'd have a really high bill for that bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, like, but for me, it's that nostalgic feeling. So my husband and I, we are very big supporters of community and small business, and that's why we've been intentional in making those connections with small businesses in our community and the way it makes us feel when we visit. And so to be able to bring a little bit of that home and have a piece of that at home is a special little treasure.
Sure.
And so, you can go to, like, your main
Costco.
You could go to Costco. And when I open
You
up,
can actually get some good wine at Costco.
you can.
Yeah.
But I don't have that same connection and that same feeling of community. And also, like, that pride in knowing that I supported a small business.
Absolutely.
We definitely sell an experience as well as wine.
I love that. Absolutely.
And that's kind of key for us. You can, like you said, you can go anywhere and get a bottle of wine, but the memories that you create while sitting down, drinking that bottle of wine, or here tasting with us, or talking with us, or people that you may meet here, other club members, things like that, make and sell the experience.
I think that's a quotable phrase for any business,
Absolutely.
any small business especially, is we sell an experience. And if you really look at it, the large high-end luxury brands, that's what they're selling as well.
They do
And
sell an experience.
yeah, so it's one of the areas that a small business can really compete with a big business. I mean, Louis Vuitton, let's face it, you can get a purse somewhere else, right? But you're selling that experience. They're selling an experience, right?
So you talked about, that experience as a club member. What are some perks that we experience as club members, and what kind of activities do you guys do here at the winery?
The audience is not seeing the actual tasting area, but where we're sitting now is an area that's special to us. This is our personal home. This is our personal patio. For us, we want to be able to bring our club members up to this area and provide them with an experience as a club member 3 times a year, for them to come up here and have a club event. When we release wines, we come up, I will plan whatever it may be for that particular month. And we'll, like, the last one that we had was in July. It was a barbecue. So we had about 80 people up here. We had some music. We had great barbecue, sat out here, and people just love it. They think it's personal to them. They feel special, and we want to make them feel special. They help support our winery. And like you said, it's local business. They want to support it.
How much does that, maybe as you're starting to grow now, you haven't really had a chance to add a ton of wine members yet, but in a typical business operation of a mature winery, how much do you think that means to the winery to have those club members? For a winery that's been established, do you think that's bringing in 40% of the revenue, or do you think it's bringing in 80? What does that happen in a mature winery?
It's definitely bread and butter. When it comes to harvest time and you're looking at some of the more mature wineries, you have thousands of club members.
Yeah.
Hundreds or thousands, but that's a number that you can look at and say, okay, I need this much for production. And you can say, hey, okay, I'm going to need a minimum of 1,000 cases this year just to support my wine club, which is great because now you know that's your bread and butter.
Yeah.
You can now focus on
That's your
additional
base foundation, and everything else is a highlight, I'd imagine.
Right.
It helps with budgeting and things like that, and it's good to know that. One, if you can treat your club members right to where they want to stay, that's always a positive. And it's just makes things a little easier down the run when it comes to knowing where you're going to be at the end of the year. This is still a passion project for us.
Yeah.
But club members are coming in weekly. And
That's wonderful.
It's been overwhelming. We're coming up just on our first year here in beginning of October. Overly exceeded our expectations. I'm pretty tough on myself when it comes to business. I've been a business owner for most of my life in one way or another, so I have pretty high expectations, and we definitely exceeded them quite significantly this year. So the future looks pretty bright.
Well, congratulations. I think this is another toast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations.
To successful business.
You can look me in the eye
I'll look
this
you in
time,
the eye.
okay? Yes.
That was actually much better.
Cheers. One of the other things too, Rachel, just to touch on the club members, is it's not only being a member and being able to come to club events, but our club members also are provided with discounts on wines. We have new release releases that come out. They're the first ones that are previewed to purchase the wine, taste the wine, free tastings. They're just special in general. So, yeah.
So you had mentioned October. There's something coming up October 7th, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
We have Kicking Up the Dust event.
Okay.
Kick the dust up.
Kick the Dust Up, excuse me. Downtown Lincoln. It's basically the Downtown Association.
So it's the Downtown Lincoln Association that puts on this event, and it's Saturday night. They have line dancing. It's all done in the plaza. Ourselves, Smoke and Barrel Winery and Rebellion Brewery is going to be the beer and wine that's going to be provided there.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're the only ones, which is kind of special to us. And they're going to have food vendors, also just regular vendors there.
So will you be there?
Yeah, so we're going to be there pouring wine. We do have an area, a VIP area. So if people want to purchase tickets ahead of time to go into a special area, they can secure a seat for the night that includes some glasses of wine. And because my understanding is there's not a lot of seating there, so people will find a seat. Yeah, so they want that seat. So it's kind of like you're up front watching the action. So
That's good.
yeah.
And then I think you have, now this grounds are beautiful. Do you use this for weddings or anything like that? Or
We've done some just personal, like some friends and family type events here.
You have a pumpkin patch, I understand?
Yeah, so we'll have a pumpkin patch through the month of
Those are
October. Yeah, which will be down by the tasting area. And
It's once again, it's nothing huge. It's more for direct community based.
Yeah.
For us, we have a lot of our local friends and family with children and stuff like that. Gives them something to do, hang out, grab a pumpkin or two on the way out the door.
What about your pop-up events? I know that I've come to winery and you had local businesses that have provided just different crafts and items for sale. What does that generally entail and look like?
so fall is my favorite time of the year. So I really kind of like to do it up during this time. So during the pumpkin patch, 2 of the weekends, October 14th and 15th, and then October 28th and 29th, we will have some local vendors come, anything from making soaps to canning items to woodworking. So it's all local
Lots of
businesses.
cute stuff. Fleur de lis.
Yes.
is-
Which she was just here and we did a hat event, which was really fun. So it was,
That's right. And with it, was it like a engraving in the hat?
So you had the opportunity, you purchased the ticket. It included your hat and the design of your hat, or help with the design of your hat, and a glass of wine. Anna from Fleur de Lis, which is the hat portion of her business, is called Wild Fleur. She helped you put everything together, from ribbons to leather to bling to all different kinds of things. And it was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great time.
Awesome. So sorry to interrupt the great time,
Oh,
but I want to get back into the challenges,
okay.
Okay.
because I really feel like we've kind of glossed over some of this. This is hard work. I mean, it really is. So you had everyone telling you no. Everyone in your business circle, everybody that knew you, that, because I know the pool guys stick together. You guys all know each other, and they're like, "You're crazy," you know. So how did you find that fortitude when everybody is saying go left and you're going right? You know what? How do you find that inside of yourself, or has that just always been part of you?
Always been a part of me. I really don't know failure. It's one of those things to where I just keep going, keep pushing, you know, and I'll find a way, one way or another. This one was a passion project. You got to have the passion for it. It is a lot of work. It is not a 9 to 5. It's a 5 to 9 on a good day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we're in crush. I mean, I've had all-nighters just to get things done. Mother Nature doesn't go by a time clock. So when things are ready, it's time. We got to go. It's just, we pushed through a couple months of some pretty hard times, but not hard times, but just physically and emotionally draining times.
Challenging.
Yes.
And it takes grit. And what I'm hearing.
That's a great word, grit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing you say is you two have grit, and really that power couple in saying we're gonna take this challenge and we're gonna make it happen because this is a dream that we see together.
I think to answer your question, Barry, for us, the biggest challenge is that we both are willing to put the hard work in. We can work long hours and that sort of thing. But because we still have jobs in the middle of the week, time is really one of our biggest challenges. It's very difficult for all the things that we want to complete. I don't know when you drove in if you saw some projects that were undone down there.
It's all right.
Like them.
Yeah. But so I would say time. Time is probably our biggest challenge.
Another thing that I take away from you guys, besides the grit that Rachel mentioned, is that you're totally connected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not his passion and you're just along supporting his passion. That's what you see so often in couples. And for many couples, that's fine. But what I see from you guys is you're both
Committed.
Yeah.
to
You're
this.
committed,
I mean, really
and
equally.
And you're in alignment in what your goals and values are. And I love that.
Yeah.
We definitely have our roles.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
have may have long nights down in the processing area, but she's got social media to deal with and emails and wine club and
Yeah.
T-shirts and swag and this and that and, you know, all the
I've
other
got my
stuff.
T-shirts
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we want our followers to really help your social media out. You guys follow this company, follow this winery, and really plug in and see what they've got going on. We'd love to have you really become followers of
Where
their
can
social.
they find you on Instagram?
So we're at Smoke and Barrel Winery on Instagram and then also on Facebook. And right now we're working on our website, which is going to be up and running probably here in a couple of weeks. So, which is been way overdue, but it's coming. So it's fine.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
The last episode that we did, or the next episode that we did, depending on how that rolls out, we featured some guys that ran a restaurant, and they actually would get out and show people how they set up their food and how they get the ribs on the rack and everything. And do you have some of that type of social media coming that will show people what you're doing? What goes into making wine? You know?
We do, and this is the hardest part for me is we have, you know, this is a family affair. Our daughter Skylar helps with our marketing and things like that, as well as another gal that we've hired to really kind of push us into the next realm. And she's been giving me instructions to shoot videos of myself and doing stuff like that, which I am not a fan of.
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
That's my gift.
But it's one of those things. It's a necessary evil, as she says.
People love to see behind the scenes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
They do.
And we, I think, as a society, we've gotten so used to providing all of the cush, lovely,
Finished product.
finished product, and people want to see the hard work and they want to see the challenges. And so I think that that's where the interest in behind the scenes comes in, is that if they can do it, I can too. And so it's that motivation of seeing people just in the everyday work of it, which is really interesting.
I think that particular video that Mitch did, I can't remember how many people looked at it. I feel like there was over 500 views or something, which I was kind of shocked at that. But I mean, he did a great job. But it's, you know, I think for him and being down in the winemaking area, it's important for people to see that. You know, they want to see what's going on. They want to see the process. And we're not really allowed to have people inside the building. So it's nice for him when he shoots the video.
Yeah, and to share a little bit of that intimate piece of that process with the world.
Right.
I love that.
You know, as you were speaking, Rachel, I was thinking about how I've seen some of the filters and stuff on your social media. You're always experimenting and trying out this, that, and the other. And I think that with the proliferation of technology, you have all this capability to do this finished product. Like the camera gear that we're using now is much better than you could have bought 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And so we have all this technology, yet what people really want is just to see they want to see it real.
Yeah.
They really
We should
do.
name our show Real Talk.
Yeah.
Real talk on real estate, do you
Oh, that
think?
might be a good idea. Hey, if you're out there and you're following us, we'd love to hear from you. And when you go onto someone's web page, like Smoke and Barrels, tell them what you want to see. You know, it really gives feedback for the creators, for us to know what kind of businesses do you want to see interviewed, right? What kind of questions do you want to ask other entrepreneurs that are just getting their start out? And when you're talking to these business owners, be on there. Don't just say like and kind, although we appreciate the likes. We appreciate the shares. But what we really want to do is give them some feedback. Let them know what kind of questions.
And for our audience, let us know what business you'd like to see next featured on Real Talk on Real Estate.
Absolutely. Rachel, if somebody wanted to let you know, how would they reach you?
They can reach me at Let's Get Social Placer or at norcalsbest.com.
Awesome. And I'm at email probably is the easiest way to get me. Barry at brokerberry.com.
Do you have your website up yet, or is
No,
it
our website's not up, but people can contact me. I'll take a call. I'll take a text, 916-759-9330.
Oh, that could be scary.
Yeah.
Out that cell phone
Yeah.
number, give
Well, I
right
got
out.
it right on the sign on the
Okay.
Okay. Do it again for us.
916-759-9330.
All right.
Or smokeandbarrelwinery at gmail.com.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That she got a Gmail account.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with people with AOLs and Yahoos.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you want to reach us, we've given you all our information. My name is Barry Mathis. My number is 916-225-7777. My partner, Rachel, would love to hear from you, and let us know what you want to hear on our next episode. I don't know why I can't talk all of a sudden. We didn't have that much more.